December 7th, and I think that it became clear to the Cowboy medical team that he is not going to be ready until probably next year.
Right.
Probably like mid-January. Who cares about mid-January? Okay, so he's ready to practice in mid-January. That's going to help you how this year?
Right.
Okay, so I tweeted about this yesterday because I kept saying there's no urgency here on Odell's part to become a Dallas Cowboy. Well, what do I care about? I only care about now. Right. I don't even care about next year or the next year.
Right.
Odell got his ring last year, and I think it became painfully clear to Jerry over this visiting time that he did the last 48 hours that Odell is far more concerned about 23 and 24 than he is about 22 and then going into early 23, right?
Yes.
Because what does Odell care about Dallas winning the Super Bowl right here, right now? He won one.
Right.
He got his ring. He is a made man. And we talked about it yesterday, and you asked me, what's his priority? Well, it's security. It's long-term.
Okay.
He wants his $20 million in 2023 and $20 million or maybe a little more in 2024.
Okay.
And I don't know how much longer he wants to play, 2-3 years. I don't know, maybe more. But the point is that my concern is not his concern. Jerry's concern is not his concern. True. Because he's slow playing this out to where finally you say, oh, so you want a long-term great deal from me, says Jerry Jones, but you don't want to help me win a Super Bowl and break through when I have my best shot right now because, as you well know, in this league, next year, it could be a Rams-like disaster. It could,
you never know. There's a reason why there hadn't been a whole lot of repeat champions. But Skip, remember I told you, it's like, well, why isn't he on the team? Why didn't I say, Skip, there's no team going to pay a guy just to rehab if you can't help me win. You're chewing up a roster spot, and you're not going to help me win right now. I'm not paying somebody that's not going to help me win.
Okay. So I'm getting more and more lost on this. It's becoming, it's like turning into Odell from hell for me. Right. Because I wanted him so badly, and I wanted this to work. But if it was going to work, on Monday, it needed to just detonate. Right. It needed to, by Monday evening at 5 o'clock, they needed to have a deal.
But I tell you what, Skip. You wanted him bad, and maybe the players wanted him bad, and maybe Cowboy Nation or country or whatever they call themselves. But I don't believe Jerry ever wanted him as bad as you and the other Cowboy faithful wanted him.
Well, you could be right because, as you keep pointing out, a whole lot of homegrowns are about to come due contractually, and it's going to threaten the salary cap. And it already got threatened by the contract that he overpaid for Dak Prescott.
Yes, because you do realize, okay, Skip, Dak is in the second year of a 4-year deal. Yeah. Okay, Diggs is up after this season.
Diggs is
okay, up. Michael comes up after next season.
Right.
Dak is up again.
Right, and CD.
Yes, I forgot. Excuse me. CD is going to be up. So you got
with Diggs.
Right,
yeah.
Hold on. You got CD and Diggs after this year, after the third year.
Now, you can pay them now if you want to after this year.
After next season, Micah is up, and that contract is up again.
Right. So Jerry and Steven are sitting back saying, well, wait a second. The medicals tell us that it's not great yet.
Right.
It might turn out to be okay down the road, but it's not going to be good enough for him to contribute this year.
Yes, but Skip, how about this here, Skip? Right now we're in a holding pattern. We're just going to wait and see. We had a great visit with Odell Beckham, but right now for us, we're just going to play it by ear. Yeah. We'll see how it goes a couple of weeks down the road. You didn't have to say anything and then leave it up. They're like, well, damn, you're going to come out. I know you're going to say, what, they had him in their building. Why did they let him get out the building?
That is correct.
Something has to be going on for the Cowboys not to sign him or someone have not signed him yet. Now, obviously, he wanted to take all his visits. He wanted to go to the Giants. He wanted to go to Buffalo. And he had promised Jerry Jones that he was going to swing through Dallas on December 5th. He did that. But if he gets out of there and is not signing and Jerry says, you know what, hey, we're just in a holding pattern right now, you're going to be like, well, what's going on? Is the knee not where it needs to be? Is there something else going on?
Okay. All right. So here are 3 Jerry quotes from yesterday.
Okay.
We just heard the first one from Jen. I'm not confident at all, he said, in Odell's health at this moment. I'm not confident at all?
Right.
Well, that's pretty much disqualifying, right?
Yes.
He also said it is paramount, said Jerry Jones, that Odell contribute this year.
Right.
Paramount.
Right.
Next quote. It has to improve us right now as well as next year.
Yes.
Right now.
Right.
Okay, so Jerry's just laying it right there on the table for all to look at. I need him now, and he's not ready now because I have no confidence in him being ready now. So he's basically sending a message to the locker room, I'm sorry, I tried, but it's not going to work, right?
No, Jerry said, I'm not about to put this item on. Everybody's had things. I know I've had things on layaway. They don't let you get it, and then you pay as you go along. Once you pay it off, you go get it. Jerry said, I'm not putting this player on layaway. I need somebody that can do something for me in 2022, the end of 2022 and 23.
Okay.
If he can only help us in 23, 24, guess what I'm going to do, Skip? I'm going to pay him in 23, 24.
Okay. And I believe that Jerry would be much prouder, much more self-satisfied if they could go win, let's just say the NFC. Don't even talk about, if they could just get to a Super Bowl without Odell Beckham Jr. Because that's Jerry's calling card is I built this myself. I didn't have to reach desperately for an Odell at the last second to get us over the top.
Definitely. You don't feel like you'd have to overpay. But the question is, let's just say for the sake of argument, Skip, Odell doesn't play this year and he gets an opportunity. So now free agency starts in March. So now you have basically a full year to rehab. And by the time you get on the field, you'll be 15, 16 months. You're further down the road. I think he would be better served and possibly can get the money that he's seeking if he does it that way.
Okay, you're probably right. Okay, well, then that doesn't help us at all right now, remotely.
And would the Cowboys still be as interested, knowing that he's fully recovered from the ACL, is going to want that $20 million when you got CD going to want his bread and you just gave Michael Gallup his bag?
I'm going to guess no, big no on that. And I'm going to throw one last little X factor at you. James Washington is on this roster, and they didn't pay him much money, but they paid him some. They paid him $1.2 million for 1 year. He was a second-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going to talk about their new young Devo wide receiver in a few minutes here, George Pickens. But the Steelers pick wide receivers better than anybody, and it's a pipeline, but they wind up going elsewhere. It's one after another, starting with Antonio Brown. James Washington never quite clicked with Big Ben Roethlisberger for whatever reason. I'm going to remind you, I loved him at Oklahoma State because he won the Biletnikoff Award and was first-team All-American in 2017, and again went in the second round because he's not a speed demon. He ran 4.55 at the Combine, which is not speed demonry. But every time I turned on the TV watching Oklahoma State when he was behind somebody. He was behind somebody. It's just what he does. I don't know how he does it, but he does that. He hurt his foot in training camp, and 1 month ago, he returned to practice, and they kept saying, next week, next week, next week. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's just not practicing well. I don't know. But my point is, Jerry's pride's on the line. He signed James Washington, and he probably thinks in his heart of hearts he can be just as effective as Odell could be right here, right now.
What's your instinct tell you? You know, Jerry. You think this deal gets done?
Nope, I do not, because I thought that from the start. I thought we were bucking against Jerry to want Odell, and I think he got caught up in the runaway Odell hysteria, and he tried to placate the locker room by saying, okay, I'm going to try. We're going to bring him in. I'm going to try. And then if you want to go so far as to say the leaking of this medical information was Jerry expressing to the players why he can't do this. I need them to know through Ed Werder that this is not now. Like he's not going to help us immediately. Now, I don't know what Odell was telling Micah and Trevon Diggs when they went to the Maverick game. I don't know if he's telling them, hey, guys, I'm just not going to be ready right now, but maybe next year I can help, right?
Next year don't do me no good.
Okay, all right, there you go.
You need somebody to help you right now. You're in the middle of it right now, Skip.
So Mike Florio, he went through the speculation here. He said at one point it appeared the Cowboys possibly were going through the motions with Odell in order to get the Giants to overpay or to have to pay more. Okay, so that was the first possibility. Now he says it looks as if the Cowboys are trying to get Beckham to take less. So are they just negotiating with Odell? Maybe to a certain point, but I think it's gone way beyond negotiating. I think it's gone to deal breaking.
Skip, I had to think. If I go in and if I want to buy something, I got a price that I'll go to, and there's a price that if I'm selling something, there's a price that I'm not going to go under. Odell has the service. Is there a price that he's not willing to go under? Because clearly the Cowboys are trying to get under the number that Odell is seeking. I'm trying to offer a service. What is the number, Skip, I'm not willing to go under? I'll go over, but I'm not going under. Is it 500,000? Is it a million? How much is Odell willing to shave off his original asking price, knowing that the need is not where it needs to be right now, and he possibly can't help them until 2023?
Okay. Now we're back to the age-old, infamous Jerry quote. You would not believe the size of the check I would write to win another Super Bowl. The problem is that whole statement is disqualified. You have a salary cap, and you have to pay Micah Parsons at some point, right?
Yeah. So you might have to write a big check.
Right, but there's a limit to the check that you can write. We always say, if this were baseball, Jerry might have 12 championships. I don't know.
Yeah, next year it's going to be really interesting, because you're going to have to pay Micah, and that contract, and you cannot franchise him, is completely up. And you know where the quarterback contracts are going, Skip. And I understand the cap is going up, but Micah Parsons is going to get $200 million. He's going to he's about to get the biggest contract of a defensive player in the history of the game.
I got it.